All right, you've all seen this before. Very familiar, that stick of unsalted butter that you're going to use in your baking. Maybe you use it in cooking all the time. Here at the U.S. Championship Cheese Contest, I know cheese is right in the name, but we also have entries of butter, both salted and unsalted. We've got plenty of entries in those classes this year. And we are here with Lloyd Metzger of Valley Queen Cheese out in South Dakota, one of our expert judges, and Anna Koo of Tillamook, who is here as well, one of our new judges this year. We're very excited to have her with us. So, Lloyd, tell me a little bit about how judging a butter is different from judging a cheese.
Well, initially you'd think it'd be easier and less complicated, but that's not always the case. Butter tends to carry different flavors as opposed to cheese. And then we do have cultured butter as well, where they're adding organisms and fermenting the butter to some extent. So you get a kind of an aura of flavors if it's actually cultured. So it can go from a really bland, flat butter all the way to some really strange flavors, even to if you get some pasture-fed butters, you'll get some grassy notes and just some odd flavors that come through in the butter.
Okay,
So it can
very
be very
interesting.
boring or it can be very exciting. You never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get with these butters. So, Anna, why don't you take us through kind of how you break down this stick into what you're going to sample? So, we've got our knife here, right? And I assume we're going to just break right into that stick with that knife. So, why don't you go ahead and show us here? You've got,
So I will be opening up this just to see if there's any uneven surface outside.
and are we looking for anything special about the wrapping? Does it have to be tight? Are we looking for gaps or anything like that?
We want to make sure that it's not wrinkled, it's even for the wrapping.
Okay, so we've got the wrapping off there.
You want
Looks
nice, sharp
lovely.
corners.
Nice sharp corners, looking pretty good there.
Pretty good stick of butter here.
We'll also look for some free moisture. So if the butter wasn't worked properly, you'll get little droplets of water on the surface of the butter. So we just check for that defect. It's called leaky.
Okay.
And note if we have leaky butter.
Okay, leaky butter is a defect. You may not have known that. All right.
Cutting it.
So we're cutting in. Like a knife through butter.
And as you cut the butter, we're seeing if it's crumbly or breaks or if it's a nice smooth cut on the butter or not.
Okay, so we've got that butter cut up. We've got, what are we looking for inside there?
So we don't see any leaky, that what Lloyd was saying. And right now it looks pretty smooth and we can kind of taste it.
Okay, pretty smooth. So now we're going to taste it. How do you cleanse your palate? How does your taste buds?
Well, first you smell it. Your
Oh,
sense
first
of
you
smell
smell,
is
of
really
course.
stronger than anything, and butter will really carry odd smell. So you smell the butter first of all, and you would expect kind of a light buttery Scotch cooked kind of a note, almost a cooked eggy kind of a smell. This one really doesn't have it. It's pretty bland, not a whole lot there. So at this point, you're thinking it's probably a flat butter because there's not a lot of smell there. Pretty mild.
Okay, and now are we testing texture here as well?
No, don't worry about texture.
No?
Really
Okay.
do that in your mouth. So as you put it in your mouth, it should be smooth and not grainy. You'll get a crumbly, grainy defect sometimes. So kind of put it in your mouth, take your tongue and press it against the roof of your mouth and break the butter down.
Okay.
Butter all by itself.
Butter all by itself. I don't know if I've ever had just a chunk of unsalted butter, but we're going to try. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very sort of clean to me, to my untrained palate, right?
So that butter was smooth. There was not any crumbliness. It broke down in your mouth, just a nice smooth. And then it was very clean. There's no off flavors there. This is just a mild, really a defect-free butter. It doesn't have the positive notes that we really like to have, so you don't get any of that eggy, cooked kind of flavor that we desire, but there's no bad there. So it's kind of a middle-of-the-road absence of bad, but not really a lot of positive flavors that we're looking for as well either. So kind of a middle-of-the-road butter.
Good, solid, middle of the road piece of butter. All right.
Taste a little acid in here that lingers. And then maybe just a little storage too. Just a tad of it, it's like, but more acid that comes out.
Okay, some acid too. Well, I'm going to go get you guys some toast so you can have something to put this on. There you have it. We also do butter at the U.S. Championship Cheese Contest. Who knew? Stay tuned and we will bring you so much more from this great competition here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.